Only a week after Australia was transfixed by the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026, continental football returns to the nation's shores, with Melbourne City hosting PFC Nasaf in the AFC Women's Champions League quarter-finals. Hello and welcome to the home of the Matildas in Melbourne's north, where last year's finalists host an Uzbekistani outfit who will be ready and primed to cause an upset today. Well, Melbourne City, the home side, they swept through Group A in November, scoring 15 goals without conceding one of their own to reach the knockout stages. They beat Taichung Blue Whale 3-0 at the same stage of the competition last year in front of their home fans. They ultimately fell in the final on penalties. Well, Nasaf, they had a more challenging time advancing through the group stage, winning one, drawing one and losing one, but did enough to reach this knockout stage. The vast majority of their squad were a part of the Uzbekistan side that participated in the Asian Cup and remained in Australia in the interim, so jet lag won't be a problem for the champions of Uzbekistan. They will be very used to Australian conditions, and what a stunning day it is today in Melbourne. Well, joining me on commentary for this one is Ash Sykes. What are you expecting out of this contest today?
Yeah, it'll be a toughly fought sort of contest. I think we're kind of probably expecting Melbourne City to take the lead, play their usual style, build through the thirds, push the fullbacks up high, some midfield rotations to try and break down what may at times be a low-lying defensive block, something I feel like I've been saying a lot in recent weeks. But, you know, this Uzbeki side is a bit of an unknown. We don't get to see them too much outside of their national league, so it's going to be exciting to see what they can put on the table today, Taryn.
Yeah, it was something flagged by Melbourne City head coach Michael Matriciani before the game, in that he had seen a lot of these players play individually at the Asian Cup for their national team of Uzbekistan, but seeing this team play together as a unit, he really only had the group stage of this competition to go off. So it'll be interesting to see how that form translates perhaps from the national team that we saw a few weeks ago to club football today.
Yeah, certainly. It's an interesting question, and probably not something that they's used to sort of coming up against. Matriciani, you know, usually can get pretty good analysis on teams, and his team can do that. So individually, they understand the player qualities really, really well, and it's all about what they're going to put out onto the field. And I think he even mentioned in that interview, you know, first 5 minutes, they'll get a pretty good sense of how they're setting themselves up, what their goal might be defensively and offensively, and they'll adjust from there. The players, you know, get given autonomy these days to sort of solve footballing problems on the field as they go, and I think we'll see the full force of Melbourne City as they try to do that in the opening stanzas.
Well, Melbourne City currently top of the domestic competition, the A-League Women's. That season is quickly coming to an end. Last campaign, they went undefeated throughout the home and away portion of their domestic season, but fell in the finals campaign, and then also, of course, had that double blow of losing on penalties in the AFC Women's Champions League final. So they're hoping to go one better in this competition this season, and having already done the job of qualifying for the competition next season, they will want to make sure that, well, firstly, they get the job done here today, but they will have all sorts of silverware in their eyes on the horizon this time out.
Yeah, I think it's nice for us to sit here and start looking ahead at what might be possible in terms of silverware, and they could get their head in the clouds and do that as well, but I'm sure they'll have their feet firmly planted on the ground today, focusing on this match. And, you know, you build your trophies step by step, so they'll be doing that. Tick this one off today. Head to, I think it's Belaza next game in the semi-finals if they make it there, and then one more round game in the A-League Women's. So just keep ticking the box, approach each day as you go, and put performances on the park that will eventually build you trophies.
And then, of course, for Nasaf, a number of signings in the January window in order to help them try to overcome their opponents at this quarter-final stage. Uzbekistan women's football continues to grow. The national team, of course, making the quarter-final stage of the AFC Women's Asian Cup for the very first time. And a number of those members of their squad making their way out for PFC Nasaf at the home of the Matildas. for this Champions League quarter-final clash. Well, the excitement is in the air. The Champions League balls are out. Coach Michael Matriciani from Melbourne City said pre-game that there was a lot of excitement about. And the players get ready to hear the anthem of the AFC Women's Champions League. So players are ready, referees are ready, the fans are ready for the AFC Women's Champions League knockout stages. So here's how the sides line up for this afternoon's clash in Melbourne. For Melbourne City, only a couple of changes from the time that they last appeared in this competition. Last season's semi-final hero Shelby McMahon coming into the starting 11, as well as Briley Henry, who started the season with a back injury. Rebecca Stott captains the side from the centre of defence. Look out for talented youngsters Danella Butchers and Alexia Apostolakis off the bench. The teams getting their photos done before what is a crucial clash, of course. Winner takes all. Winner advances to the semi-finals of this competition. Here is the officiating crew for today. The central official is Japan's Yamashita Yoshimi. She's assisted by her compatriots Makoto Bizono and Iki Chihiro. The fourth official today is Tianjin from China PR. So for PFC Nasaf, they make 3 changes from their previous appearance in the competition, with new signings Medina Hikmatova, Ilvina Alia Kamimba and Laylo Tilavova all starting. All of Nasaf's starting 11 played for Uzbekistan at the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 here in Australia, and they have remained in the country since that competition. So final words in the huddle from these two sides. Melbourne City are known as a possession-based team. PFC Nasaf, well, we will see how they will choose to combat that today. We saw the Uzbekistan national side, whom many of these players hail from, play a composed and defensive style of football. It saw them get to the knockout stages and earn themselves a chance to qualify for the World Cup in that competition. What will we see at domestic level, coming up against a very different set of players? One of the players who was at that competition for Australia, Holly McNamara in the front line, may be looking to cause all kinds of havoc for Nasaf. Ludmila Karadzic hoping she can get her name on the score sheet today. And of course, their goalkeeper, Maftuna Zhonimkulova, will hope to not have too much to do in between the sticks this afternoon. So all set here for kickoff. Nasaf, get us underway. It is AFC Women's Champions League quarter-final football. Australia's Melbourne City taking on Uzbekistan's PFC Nasaf for a place in the semi-finals. Joining me on commentary, Ash Sykes. We have a very exciting game ahead.
Yeah, we certainly do. Can't wait to see what these teams put out on the table after not seeing them in this competition since the group stage in November. Everyone's gone through their own developments. Like you said, PFC Nasaf have signed a number of Uzbekistan players, and Melbourne City, you know, a few players returning from injury, similar side to what they put out in the park in November.
So here come Nasaf on the attack early. Lovely football to get in behind and into the penalty area. The offside flag was raised. You could see the work on that side straight away from the likes of Ziura and Karachik as well.
Yeah, great build-up play. They're looking to do a lot of combination plays there already, a lot of movement. It's going to be Melbourne City really need to, you know, come out a little bit more firing than that. Switched on, ready to go.
Yeah, just that pass there from Ludmila Karachik. That found the run of Mama Karimova in behind from an offside position. Michael Matriciani, the head coach of Melbourne City there, watching on, ready to make adjustments as required. And here come the home side through Carly Rosbacken. In behind to Briley Henry. Henry's delivery. Looking for the back post, cleared away. The offside flag was raised.
There we see Rosbacken doing what they love her to do, get forward in the overlap and create some plays, and some players are on the move through the middle of the field. It's looking dangerous for both teams moving forward on the ball so far.
The staff coach giving instructions. What's it? Kodikulov. Early signs of this high press of Melbourne City. Holly McNamara, the head of the attack. She's currently leading the Golden Boot race in the domestic competition and also in the Asian Champions League with 3 goals so far in the group stage. Here she is on the ball now, looking to find space. McNamara out to Henry. Riley Henry fighting off one, the cross in. Cleared away just about, but only as far as Rosbacken. Laurie Hughes now. I'll start again from this left-hand side here, City. So we can already hear cries of reset from Melbourne City, and we can expect, as is their style, for them to prioritise keeping possession, but then being able to find in space in behind with effective possession. Not quite like that, but you can see the intent.
Yeah, she found a great pocket of space there in the build-up play and just didn't quite have the pass on the end of it. They need to be calm once they get the ball, settle into the flow of the match, look for those positions so that they can receive a pass.
Rebecca Stott was directing things back there from defence for City. Here's a ball over the top, looking for the run of McNamara. Jonam Kulova is there, cool, calm, composed under pressure. It'll be interesting to see how much Nasaf want to try and play out of pressure. We've seen them already string together some lovely passing moves, particularly down this left-hand side with Mili Karachik, the vastly experienced player at the centre of it all. And the longer they have possession in these sorts of areas, you just know that City are going to have that high press. You're going to want to win the ball back. Nadine Keane showing off her straight line speed. A good challenge from Shoyimova to stop her in her tracks.
A little bit of a feeling out period so far, these opening 5 minutes. Both teams trying to see where they sit in the match, where they can find opportunities, get their touches in, get up to the speed of the game. I think it'll tidy up momentarily.
Here's Stott. Looking for that long ball over the top. McNamara cleans up. Holly McNamara out wide to 18 Keane. Fancy footwork. Stopped again. That's good defensive work from Hikamatova.
City working hard as soon as they lose the ball to try and get that individual pressure on the ball carrier, not allow Nasaf to sort of work on the counter-attack here. It's a key principle of their defensive organisation.
Nasaf certainly haven't been shy with the ball so far in these opening few minutes. We're seeing plenty of intent in possession. One of these new signings, Hikamatova with the throw. A lot of work for the youngster in Melbourne City's midfield, Shelby McMahon. She's in there wearing the number 12. Of course, she scored in last season's semi-final and final for Melbourne City. She is still a teenager, only 17 years of age, and has been training this season in a more defensive midfield role. So her role will be key in stopping attacks just like this one, when Nasaf look to hit City on the counter-attack. Comes back in a battle. Stott helps out Otto though. Straight back to a red shirt. Eventually the ball comes to McNamara in Melbourne City's goal. The Spaniard who's able to claim her second season for City today and celebrating her 26th birthday. Now, as a goalkeeper, there'd be no better way to celebrate than with a clean sheet, you'd imagine.
Nice little party at the end of it, celebrating the birthday and the clean sheet. They'll have their eyes on that for sure. And, you know, City just need to get the foot on the ball, move it around a little bit, spread this Nasaf team out a little bit, and then look for the opportunities to attack.
Birthday season a little bit for Melbourne City at the moment, because Leah Davidson, who started on the bench today, she turned 25 yesterday. Consecutive birthdays. They'd love to celebrate with a win. Here they come on the attack. Briley Henry to find space in the penalty area herself. Instead, she'll play it back to Ross Backen. May have deflected kindly here. Fantastic work from McKenna, who tried to find McNamara, but she couldn't control it under heavy defensive awareness. They come again, perhaps from a different angle. Here's the delivery into the penalty area. McNamara inches away from getting what may well have been a decisive touch.
Really great cross at the end of this one. A little bit scrappy. McKenna's working hard in there. Sorry, McMahon's working hard in there. Ball comes in. She's just drifted off the shoulder, McNamara, and almost gets on the end of that one.
Well, perhaps a dicey moment at the back here for Mires. She's dealt with it well in the end to come out and stifle the long ball. And the Nasaf have shown that they are a team that is dangerous with the ball at their feet so far. Melbourne City perspective though, this is exactly where they're comfortable. The likes of Stott on the ball now and Otto, very good at making these kinds of runs. That's fantastic from Stott. McNamara helping it on its way. Briley Henry now. Henry perhaps with a sight on goal. Couldn't find the angle. Instead wins her side a corner.
That's exactly what Rebecca Stott loves to do. She loves to drive in through the midfield and look for opportunities. Lays it off for McNamara here, gets absolutely clattered after laying off that pass to Henry. Surprised there was not more made out of that one, to be honest.
It was good work from Umida Zoirova to just marshal Briley Henry away from goal there. Here's the in-swinging corner. Headed away, only as far as McNamara, who tries to keep it alive. Ball still bobbling around. That clearance not entirely convincing. That one's a little bit better. New City will be forced to recycle from the back. Long ball, looking for the corner from whence it came. Good control from McNamara. Holly McNamara bursting into the box, goes to ground. Goal kick is the decision.
Interesting decision. Looked like it took a deflection there, but great from McNamara. You can see she's attacking with intent here. She goes at Zoirova with, with pace. She attacks at her, and I think Henry maybe needs to go at a little bit more pace at her defender when she's going down that side. But McNamara there looked great, going 1v1.
And Shoyim over there helping out, wearing the number 9 in the defensive line for Nasaf. Number 9, of course, a number on the back of the shirt most often associated with centre forwards.
Maybe she's been slowly moved back through the ranks after starting there as a junior.
And again, Nasaf looking promising in these transition moments. A fascinating little battle emerging. Certainly hasn't been one side on top, and now here they come. Numbers forward here for Nasaf. Karachik has options perhaps. Instead will go for the spectacular. Mirez is there. Little taste of the quality of Ludmila Karachik.
Yeah, 1v1, just shifts it to the side, gets a look at goal and decides to take the shot. A little bit ambitious, but I like the intent.
Yeah, vastly experienced, the 31-year-old. One of the top goal scorers in Uzbekistan's football history, national team and in the league. City just haven't been able to find a clear-cut chance as of yet. You'd say probably had more of the match momentum, but Nasaf themselves have looked probably just as likely to score at this stage.
Yeah, fairly evenly matched, really. I mean, City sort of dominating possession a little bit already, but Nasaf not without their own chances. And once they get a little bit further forward on the field, you can see they start to play a little bit more. So, it's just about getting the ball in the areas of the field that they need to.
Karachik intercepts. They would have played into midfield. Rebecca Stott cuts out the pass in behind. Now can City create something in transition? With a pass like that from Briley Henry, who evades Carly Rossbacken.
And here we see Nasaf exactly in that field position that they'd like to be, attacking. We saw at the start of the game some combination plays, see if they can drag these City players around a little bit, create some space for that shot on goal.
Nice turn from Amirova into the penalty area, headed away though. Going to ground. There's a City player. Much to the protest of Hikmatova.
Not much in that one by the looks of it, just a little run into each other, and it really should just be a free kick and play on.
Medina Hikmatova with her hands full dealing with Aideen Keane, who is one of the fastest players in this Melbourne City outfit. There's another quick player, Briley Henry, trying to get in behind. Played out for a corner by Zoirova.
We see their City decide to go the slightly more direct route, and that's okay. They like to play possession football, but sometimes the opportunities, it's all about recognising when that shows and when you can go a little bit more direct and utilise some of the speed that you were just talking about.
Another attempt at an in-swinging corner. Players collected at the back post. Here comes the delivery. Otto gets the header. It's punched away. Stott will keep it alive with an overhead kick. And Johnny Mkulova is there to claim.
Steady pair of hands, which we saw at the Women's Asian Cup recently. Great shot stopper. Commands her box really, really well. And we see she comes up with the goods there in amongst the crowd.
The centre-back partnership for Melbourne City, Taylor Otto and Rebecca Stott, can be good from set pieces, but meanwhile, Laura Hughes disagrees with something quite vehemently in midfield. She's being calmed down by her teammates.
Not happy with something that's happened in there. Laura Hughes clearly making her feelings known. Can't say I can really see what that was all about, but you know, she's up and about, Laura Hughes, happy to be back in the starting lineup and trying to make her presence felt in the midfield there.
And the 26-year-old Bolzuda Amirova, the player fouled for Nasaf. Of course, Hughes, a Wales international. McNamara tries to chase that one down. A little bit outnumbered. And if any player for Melbourne City can find a way to make something happen in that situation, it probably would be McNamara.
Yeah, I think Nasaf there could benefit from a little bit more movement of the players up ahead. They seem to be watching the ball carrier a little bit, hoping for them to create the space to pass into. I think you just need to be a little bit more proactive with your movement if you want to play out from there.
Dreamova is launching it up the field. Aisha McKenna wasn't able to control it for City, but it's intercepted in midfield. McNamara not able to find a way through. McMahon looking for a different angle. Very, very organised in defence, Nasaf. Henry. Nice work, McKenna. Ross Backen. Can she keep it in? Can she put in a ball of quality? Henry. McKenna. McKenna's ball to Henry in behind. We played back for a foul committed earlier. City will have a chance perhaps from a shooting range. And Letitia McKenna, the player fouled, has made a name for herself, being able to score from this kind of position.
Great opportunity from here. I love the movement, a little bit of combination play between her and Henry. She's looking to get her in behind after moving the players around a little bit. And McKenna, does she have a sight set on goal from here? Or is she going to go for the cross?
No, she can score from this kind of distance. You wonder what they've been talking about at training all week.
Confident and you're in those sort of spots, I think it's hard to deny yourself a shot at goal. Looks like she's not quite set up for it. Could be a little bit of deception. There's a big bulk of players at the back post. She's got a sight set on, it appears, at the moment.
One arm in the air is the signal. McKenna towards the back post, the header is wide from Taylor Otto. It was a nicely worked set piece. Otto just couldn't get the header on target.
Yeah, good delivery from McKenna, and Otto does well to get in front of a defender there. Just doesn't quite make the connection she'd wanted to on the head.
The 28-year-old American, Taylor Otto, played youth football for the USA. He was actually at the 2016 Under-20 Women's World Cup. Played with names like Mallory Swanson, Emily Fox, Ashley Sanchez, current US senior internationals.
Unsurprisingly, US had a pretty strong squad by the sounds of it.
She's been at Melbourne City since 2023. She's into her third season now. Switch of play. Henry finds McMahon in behind. McNamara. Will it fall here for City? And Nasaf defenders keep getting in the way. McNamara from the tight angle. Well, that deflection from Shuimova could have gone anywhere. And from a Nasaf perspective, thankfully into the gloves of John Mkulova.
Yeah, McNamara, great first touch there, and then decides, you know what, let's get a shot on goal. Yeah, they've been building up a lot. Need to get some shots on target if they can, put some pressure on that goal.
This is the direct ball from Stott, easily dealt with. Maybe a little bit of trouble here with Kudratova, Nasaf's captain. Been felled by an earlier incident, which play has been stopped for and brought back for the foul.
Just a little bit of a sandwich in between the two City players there, a little bit of a knock to the back of their head. And they bring it back for a foul there. She's copped one.
I dare say the initial foul was probably the push from Turner, but then Keane, in her enthusiasm to win the ball, has come through and created the unfortunate little injury, but it's good to see she's okay to continue. Nasaf now with a little spell of possession. Searching for options. Mamat Krumova. Karacic. McMahon is there to intercept.
I think City could probably benefit here from a little bit of recycling of play a little bit more often. They've been coming down the right a lot in this first half so far. I think maybe to break them down, be a little bit more patient, move the ball a little bit quicker across the back line. Really earn your chance to go forward.
Well, this is danger for City. They're determined to play out from the back. Nasaf have their pressing triggers down to a T. Again, the majority of this squad have been in Australia since since Uzbekistan was eliminated from the AFC Women's Asian Cup in the World Cup playoff. They have been in Australia. They have been working together for this game, and you can see the plan coming together when City have the ball in possession in their defence.
Yeah, when they've got them pegged back down into their own third, they're pressing a little bit higher, which I like. I like the intent there to sort of put pressure on them, and City really need to move the ball a bit quicker. They lulled themselves into that sort of danger. I think we need to see a little bit quicker ball movement. Don't allow the Nasaf players to get as close as what they have been up there.
Nasaf will be hoping to see a little bit more of Diora Khan Habibuleva on the ball. He's been the top scorer in the domestic competition on a number of occasions. This could be her moment here. City able to defend well. It was Counterattacks, the player who was attempting to make the run in behind. Now space perhaps opens up for the home side. McNamara looking for an early cross. It was 18 Keane making the run at the back post. Instead, Melbourne City will earn themselves the third corner of this afternoon.
Yeah, McNamara loves attacking that space in between the centre-back and the full-back when she's running in behind, and she makes herself another opportunity to find some space down this right-hand side and tries to get the ball in another corner. Let's see what they can create for themselves off this one, Melbourne City.
It's McKenna on corner-taking duties. Here's the delivery. Looking for Stott. Rebecca Stott turning, putting it back in the middle. And it's trickled just out of play.
Great option from Stott there to put it back in the mixer rather than go for the shot herself. Almost gets the flick around the corner. Not quite right there. Does she keep the ball in play? I think just.
There might be a bit more of a stoppage in play here. Diorican Habibaleva is down and requiring treatment. The players will take the opportunity to have a small refreshment. It is almost perfect conditions for football in Melbourne today. Early 20s degrees Celsius, sunny skies. Has followed a couple of quite miserable and rainy days in Melbourne, so it's lovely to see the weather gods have turned out for the AFC Women's Champions League quarter-final.
Be nice in the sun there watching the game today, watching the two teams go at it, and it's a good chance to just regather your thoughts. Both teams see what they want to do for the rest of this half. The cynic in me says this is another one of those stoppages that happened, you know, midway through the half, just so this sort of thing can happen.
Well, goalkeeper McNamara is just saying, hey, when I had the ball in my hands, I got kicked by Briley Henry then. That's what she was showing off, some studs in the gloves. Occupational hazard of goalkeeping. Well, she probably has a point.
It was a little bit late, a little bit cheeky, trying to put a boot in there, but goalkeepers are tough. I'm sure she's fine.
She was certainly in the wars playing for Uzbekistan at the Asian Cup, but managed to bounce back and be a key part of their success at the tournament. Here comes City. Ball over the top again. Look at the pace of 18 Keane. Hikmatova trying to keep her off. Does well in defence again.
Yeah, City's starting to get a little bit of the upper hand here now, being up the right end of the field. Put some pressure on the Nasaf side.
Turner's throw. And for McNamara. Does Nasaf come away with it? They'll look to build from the back. Henry applying the pressure. Long clearance from Jonim Kulova. Only as far as Hughes though. City perhaps looking to come again. Keane keeping it alive. McNamara won't get there. Lovely turn from the teenager McMahon. As we approach the 30-minute mark, still scoreless at the home of the Matildas in Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne City more of the ball, but neither side really creating a clear-cut chance as of yet. Will that change in the next 15 minutes or so of this half? Nasaf hoping it falls in their favour. Habibaleva coming close to having it fall her way.
She's fighting hard up there, often by herself against the two City centre backs, but she's industrious. She scores a lot of goals, so you know this team's been very successful domestically, and she's been a big part of that. And they'll be hoping for her to keep working hard up there, see what she can create for herself.
Offside flag will prevent Bilaleva from being able to put the ball in the middle. She did score a brace against East Bengal in the group stage of this tournament. For her national team more recently, scored against Bangladesh at the Women's Asian Cup. We are speaking about that Uzbekistan side at the Asian Cup a lot because all of the starting 11 for Nasaf were part of that side. They have plenty of experience in Australia over the last month or so. Lovely ball through for McNamara. She's got Henry waiting in the middle, but instead it's Shoyimova who gets it away before she can deliver the cross.
There we see McNamara attacking that space in between the centre-back and the full-back again. This time on the left-hand side, and when City get their rotations right, they really create some troubles for this Nasaf team. Pulling players out of position, creating space. Just need the end product on that one.
Of course, it is a quarter-final today, so if things remain as they are after 90 minutes, there'll be extra time, there will be penalties if it comes to that. And there will be a winner in Melbourne today. And Melbourne City are hoping they can create an opening from this free kick. 18 Keane, she draws a lot of fouls with her footwork, and the first yellow card of the game is produced, pointed at the direction of Gonzoida Amirova.
Yeah, it's been a little bit tense down the, Melbourne City's left-hand side there. Players going at each other, few little niggles, and we could hear Melissa Barbieri from the bench yelling out, "How many times has the foul been committed?" And the referees perhaps convinced it's been enough. Get control of the game a little bit, settle things down that side, let the tensions flow out a little bit. Now Melbourne City get another good attacking free kick option here.
There's Melissa Barbieri, 86-time Matilda, now 46 years of age. Here's the set-piece delivery. Headed away by Shoyimova. City able to retain possession and perhaps look to go again with the long ball, and again it's Shoyimova who is there. Looking for the third time City, but they're just not able to get through this defence at the moment, especially from organised positions. Nasaf are very, very difficult to break down.
Yeah, Nasaf have also been really well organised, I think, competing against these set pieces of Melbourne City. Corners, they haven't looked too threatened. The free kicks, they've defended and headed away and cleared really well. So they're very, very well organised, not just defensively from open play, but from set pieces as well.
Good header from Taylor Otto. Here's this pressure. Fantastic work from Habibaleva. Draws the foul from Rossbacken, arguing her case vociferously.
Habibaleva, we see again, she works hard up there, finding opportunities to get the ball back herself. That's a one-on-one tackle, and Rossbacken not happy to have lost the ball in the first instance. Gives her a shove. in frustration, and, you know, clear free kick there. She's harrying, isn't she? She works hard trying to win the ball back. It puts a lot of pressure on the defensive line, knowing you've got a forward up there that's working so hard defensively.
Garachik's delivery. A dangerous looking one. It's bobbling around the penalty area, still not cleared. Potential for a shot, perhaps. Counterattacks wins her side a corner. And after the original decision was a corner, the assistant referee, in fact, had her flag raised. So it'll come back for a Melbourne City free kick due to an offside.
A little bit of pinball in there, trying to clear it out there. And here Melbourne City go again. Let's see if Nasaf are going to employ this higher press now that they're up there.
Well, it has been an effective tactic against Melbourne City domestically over the past couple of seasons under Michael Matriciani. Teams that have had success against City have tended to deploy it in the A-League Women's. This is lovely passing movement, though, from Melbourne City. Holly McNamara plays it into her own teammate, Letitia McKenna, getting in the way. They'll keep the ball alive, though, City. Henry. McMahon. Now Laura Hughes. Nasaf able to get back in, organised defensively again. Here's a nice ball in behind Henry. In acres of space, Briley Henry, the cutback. McNamara! McNamara again, at the second time of asking, has put the ball in the back of the net. It's come at some personal cost, but Melbourne City have taken the lead.
Well, the ball's in the back of the net. Not quite sure what's happened at the end there. There are a few bodies flying around. First shot. Well, first off, this is a fantastic little dink in behind for Henry. She doesn't quite get the cross where she wants it to go. Wow, what a shot from McNamara. Follows it up from the head after it clatters off the defender there. She stays composed to finish it. Oh, that is a tough one to take. And it looks like McNamara's just copped a little head knock after she got the header away on the rebound. Good finish from her in the end.
Yeah, at first glance it looked like it may have been the ball that caused the concern, but it was in fact Shoyimova in her desperation to try and prevent the second shot, knowing that the first shot had caused the keeper to go down and bodies flying everywhere in desperation. That on her way through, she's just accidentally clipped McNamara. And it doesn't take away from the composure of Holly McNamara, her fourth goal in this competition. She was equal leading the Golden Boot race coming out of the group stage. She is just a goal scorer in club football, McNamara, and continues to prove that today.
She certainly does. It's such a skill, being able to find the back of the net from any situation. And this one, you know, she's probably hoping to score from the first one. She got great connection, and then she's watching, she's aware, ready for the rebound. And that's what you want from your strikers in the box. Always looking for the goal, always ready for a rebound or the unexpected to happen. She's done so well there to finish that one off under pressure.
Well, she does have an extensive history of injuries, McNamara. She's only 23 years of age. Most of those have centered around her knee, 3 ACL surgeries. And has suffered from concussion in the past as well. So you'd imagine they'll do all of the tests before she's ready to be released back onto the field. Nasaf get us back underway after Melbourne City managed to open the scoring. And finally found that clear-cut chance that they needed to give themselves the lead in this quarterfinal. And Nasaf now have to find a way to come from behind, but that's great to see. McNamara back on the pitch, as is Lelo Tolivova, who blocked the initial shot.
Yeah, these players from Nasaf put their body on the line defensively, don't they? They, you know, she tried her best there to stop that first shot on goal. Did a great job. But McNamara, too good, putting it back in the back of the net. Now it's time for City to try and close out this half. One of the most dangerous times for conceding goals is when you've just scored one, particularly after now a little bit of an injury break. There's a little bit of a lull as we see tensions perhaps continue to boil down that Melbourne City left-hand side here. Another player on the ground again.
And neither side holding back in this clash. Kudratova, the captain of Nasaf, was the player felled. She's okay and back on her feet. It is all to play for in this quarter-final. It's good work there from Turner to prevent the ball going out for a corner. Still Nasaf on the attack though. Lovely footwork. Good ball in the middle. It'll fall kindly perhaps. And at the second time, Nasaf have their equalizer. Only moments after Melbourne City took the lead, they took advantage of a defensive situation. And Nasaf 1-1.
Ball in the mixer, Habibleva up for it. Karacic as well. Mieres doesn't quite come out and get the ball. And it's well finished in the end.
Nolzota Amirova got the final touch.
Just dinks it into the back of the net there. Really, really clever finish over the few bodies that are left in the box there.
In fact, Zarina Mamatkarimova was the player, the number 19, who got there. Fantastic work from Nasaf. And we flagged earlier that they were certainly not on the back foot for the whole game until City got that goal. Nasaf were very threatening. They found their equaliser in the end. Or perhaps not.
Just a pause in players' review here. Let's see what we're looking at.
Well, is this a foul on Mieres by Karacic?
Didn't see much from that first replay. Is there something else we need to be watching here? Maybe a handball?
So, Habibleva is the player maybe with the handball, and then Karacic with the challenge on Mieres. Well, this is all a bit of a mess. Lots of things to check.
Can't quite see from that angle whether it has glanced the arm. It's hard to see. I don't know that there's any significant deviation in the path of the ball to say yes or no. Through there, there's maybe better eyes than mine looking at this one at the VAR screen.
Of course, remembering that in an attacking phase of play, the ball just has to touch the arm, and that constitutes a handball. So if it is adjudged that that's touched the arm, that will be considered no goal.
I mean, if it is a goal, look at that angle there. Such a smart finish. Great control.
So the goal is awarded. Zarina Mamatkarimova, the 22-year-old, has her first goal for Nasaf in the AFC Women's Champions League campaign this season. And we are back on level terms, only moments after the home side took the lead.
It is such a dangerous time when there's a break in play after a goal. Melbourne City have fallen victim to that, and Nasaf took full advantage of a little lull in concentration. Once they get up that end of the field.
McMahon in behind for McNamara. Good save at the near post to force it out for a corner.
She's been looking so dynamic, McNamara. She's been their main attacking focal point and really, you know, playing with intent. She wants to attack the goal. She's going at pace in the box. She's got a change of pace. And she gets the shot off. Perhaps cause some hamstring issues.
Kulova just before the half-time break, requiring some treatment. Botir Kodokulov, the coach of Nasaf, he'd have to be happy with that equalizer. As are the fans in the stands in Melbourne. They've made plenty of noise, despite being outnumbered by the locals. They're absolutely loving what they're seeing.
Yeah, rightly so. They've been right in this match. We're on level terms here. They've taken advantage of the opportunities presented to them.
Here's the corner for City. Glancing header. Can't find anyone, and it's cleared away. Karadzic keeping it alive for Nasaf. There's nice movement here from Nasaf as they look to advance the ball forward. Eventually it's poked away by City. Now can they create in transition? Lovely first touch, lovely second from Rebecca Stott, who's gone an awful way up the pitch there. Stayed high after the corner. She's a creative menace as much as a stout defensive player, Rebecca Stott.
I think she'd do all right if you put her up front. She knows where the goal is. She goes direct. No messing about.
Turner's throw. Looking for the delivery. And played out for a corner. We haven't reached the 3 minutes of stoppage time, but we did have that delay with Jonim Kulova before the previous corner. So perhaps the referee will be generous with her time here from a Melbourne City perspective. The in-swinging corner into a pack of bodies. Headed away. Hughes looking to win the ball back. Can't do so. It's good work from Kudratova. A little bit scrappy, both teams fighting for it. Will City have time here to take this throw?
I think City really need to get someone on the top of the box when they've got these corners happening, Tara. And I think, you know, the ball's fallen there so often. And it's Nasaf that are the ones, the last couple, that are taking advantage of the counter-attack opportunities from that.
So half-time in Melbourne, and we are locked at 1 goal apiece in this AFC Women's Champions League quarter-final. It was Holly McNamara who got scoring underway for Melbourne City, but only moments later, Zarina Mamakarimova for Nasaf levelled things. Melbourne City, well, they've had more possession, probably more chances, but at half-time, it is Melbourne City 1, PFC Nasaf 1. So Nasaf, they showed plenty of fight, plenty of defensive organisation, but also plenty going forward.
Yeah, certainly. When they get the ball, it seems like they play very pragmatically, you know. That when they get the ball and they want to push forward, they can go direct. And then when they get the ball further up the field in that final third, you can get players in motion a bit more. Bit of combination play. you know, they're looking for opportunities to drag this City team around, and they've done really well to get that equaliser.
So you can see with the half-time stats, Melbourne City was 63% possession, 7 shots to 3. But when you talk about the quality of the chances created, there's really not much in this game, and that's reflected on the score sheet.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, 1-1. There haven't been too many really clear-cut chances, and you can see City perhaps a little bit wasteful. Only 2 of those 7 shots on target. I think they can create some better quality opportunities for themselves and for other players other than just McNamara. It's all going through her at the moment. I think we need to get some other players involved if they want to put more goals on the score sheet.
So half-time in Melbourne, it's Melbourne City 1, PFC Nasaf 1.
earlier. Talk us through your sign. What was the idea behind it? Absolutely, you've done absolutely well there. The supplies, and I knew this one was last minute, wasn't it? What time did you finish last night? Right in the lead up to kickoff. Should we bring the camera in nice because we were just talking then, we reckon you are Holly McNamara's twin. Apparently you guys get mixed up pretty often, right? Absolutely. All right, City fans, join me in giving Izzy our brand new Puma Asian Women's Champions League kit. So you're going to have to change into that one for the start of the second half. Follow me as we take a look at some of the more signs here. Who have we got here? What's your name? Olivia's here, and who is your sign all about? Laura Hughes. Absolutely. Can you remember your poem off by heart what you've written here on the sign? Oh, put your hands together, City fans. Absolutely beautiful work from Olivia. Who have we got here? What's your name? Charlotte, who's your son all about? Devin Jackson. You've got the New Zealand kid on as well. What about Devin do you love so much? Everything. Perfect. All right, let's keep going down the line. Now, this one is a two-part song. We absolutely love this. You've gone through that much ink trying to get this one ready. Who's your son devoted to? Absolutely, and let's get this one behind there. I'll hold this one at the front for you. Look at this one. We've got a TikTok, we've got the camera, we've got some gloves, and my favourite addition to this one, Slurpee, because I absolutely love the Slurpee, right? Absolutely. All right, let's keep going down the line here. Who have you got? What's your name? Ethan, and what is your sign all about? Give us the rundown, because we've got lots of city blue here, which we absolutely love. Put your hands together. We absolutely love it. I tell you what, our logo is not easy to draw. Can we get the camera in nice and close here? Did you trace that? You did. You cheated. Right, perfect. We absolutely love your sign. All right, I've got time for a few more. What's your name? Evie, you have got about 17 signs here. Is that correct? How many runs to and from the supply store have you had today? Just one, you're an absolute pro. All right, who have you got here on your first? You've got Danny Butcher's time. Who's your favourite City player? Absolutely. All right, you're dropping your signs. All right, thank you very much, Evie. All right, guys, come in nice and close. Who have we got here? What is your name? Logan, who's your sign dedicated to? And why do you like Logan so much? Absolutely, and are you a striker for Sunday? How many goals a season do you score? Quite a few. All right, we absolutely love that. And what's on your sign? Look, we are absolutely for more goals in this second half, City fans. Please put your hands together and make some noise for all our wonderful Melbourne City fans enjoying the sunshine here at the Victorian State Centre for football. The quarter-final second half is not too far away. City fans, can you please make some noise and welcome back to the pitch for the side in the second half. Today's away team, PFC Nasaf, and your girls in the City Blue, Melbourne City. And before the start of the second half gets underway, make some noise. It is confirmed we are A-League premiers. Huge second half coming up. Let's get that.
Welcome back to the second half of the AFC Women's Champions League quarter-final action between Melbourne City and PFC Nasaf. Scores currently locked at 1 goal apiece. An intriguing second half awaits. Home side looking to recapture their lead. And Nasaf looking to score an unexpected victory. Now we'll see them progress to the semi-final stage. It's been an even matchup between the home side, the Australian team, and the Uzbek PFC Nasaf. Joining me on commentary once again for the second half, Ash Sykes. What do you make of the first half action, and how might the teams approach the second half differently?
Yeah, Taryn, we got a contest on our hands here. It's been a really back and forth sort of first half.
Look at this high press again from Nasaf. That might have been a directive at half-time, because they did have a lot of success with it in the first half. Their captain, Nulufa Kudratova, the player there who was leading the press.
Yeah, they've shown us what they're going to do. I think there it's a high press. There's obviously clear moments where they want to do that, Nasaf, and they've identified that, and they go as a group and they go hard. And City's struggling to break that first couple of lines of defence when that does happen.
Rebecca Stott, Melbourne City's captain, the Kiwi international, committing the foul there.
From City's perspective, I think they need to move the ball a little bit faster, get it on the deck, have some proactive movement off the ball, get those combination plays going that we know them. See if you can beat that first line of defence to someone's feet up top, play off them, and go from there.
Here's the set piece from Nasaf, too close to Melina Mirez, who's able to claim from Melbourne City. And she'll go long straight away, looking for the run of Riley Henry. Henry heading it on for McNamara. Can she reel it in? Just a little bit too much on it. A little bit of indecision between the two strikers, because had that been controlled, they were off and away.
Yeah, I think she just really needed to control that one there, and this direct route's a good option for them when there's numbers back. And Henry there, I think, just gets it wrong. The header, poorly weighted, taking McNamara away from goal, which is not what you really want. There were two of them there, really, on goal. McNamara trying to stay on side and just get it under control and go from there.
Now, Melbourne City, more known as a team that likes to play a possession style of football, with that direct route when the Nasaf maybe a little bit disorganised in defence, does seem to be a path to goal that they can exploit.
And this is where Nasaf looked dangerous in the first half, when they can get some possession of the ball in Melbourne City's half. Not quite coming off for them there. But now we see the press in action again.
City do manage to come away with it, but McKenna's pass wayward. And Kimova, the player taking the ball away from McKenna on that occasion. Well intercepted in midfield. McNamara puts the head down. In behind for 18 Keane. 18 Keane with the pace on the tight angle. Can't get it past Jonim Kulova in Nasaf's goal.
Good intent in that passage of play there from City. McNamara driving, Keane with the run in behind. You can see how fast she is. Makes it there after a bit of a head start, and unfortunately,
Holly McNamara has gone to ground and looks to be in some discomfort. This is a concerning sign here for Melbourne City because she appears to have gone to ground without contact.
Yeah, concern shown here by the Nasaf players as well, which is a pretty good indication that something's gone awry there off the ball for McNamara. Medical staff with her now, assessing what the issue might be.
So here is the incident.
Pretty clear cause of it in the end. Unfortunately, we were too busy watching the replay to see what happened there, but that one would hurt for sure.
McNamara, of course, got the head injury in the first half after scoring the goal when the player came in to try and prevent her from getting the header away. So maybe having had that in the first half, it's just exacerbated it. Danella Buttress, the youngster, getting readied on the bench if McNamara is unable to continue, and you can imagine they won't take any chances with her if it is deemed that has just exacerbated that knock from earlier.
Yeah, have to be so careful with head injuries and that sort of thing, and we've seen it in the Women's Asian Cup, a few delayed onset concussions causing issues for players, and you just have to be so careful with what happens, and completely accidental here from Jamilikova. But that's one way to get rid of the opposition's best player.
Well, she is back up on her feet and is walking off of her own accord. So that's a good sign. Jonim Kulova was just trying to clear the ball long, and only McNamara, unfortunately, in the firing line. So it is Butchers who appears to be receiving some final instructions, and McNamara walking off very, very gingerly. I do think it is the combination of the two. There didn't seem to be a heap of contact in that case. It was at a pretty close range, and we know that Jonim Kulova has quite the range of distribution on her. Now that's a big, big blow for Melbourne City. So a concussion substitution is the first substitution of the game. 19-year-old Danella Buttress, who's scored twice in this competition so far against Stallion Laguna and also against Lion City Sailors, comes on. Buttress is yet to score in the A-League Women's in the domestic competition, but really did make a name for herself in this competition in the group stage, and will be looking to make quite the impact with McNamara going off the pitch.
Yeah, certainly one of those players called up for the Young Matildas upcoming campaign, so she's highly thought of, and big opportunity for her to get a number of minutes. Unfortunate for Holly McNamara. Hopefully she's okay.
Here's the ball in behind for Nasaf, looking for Kudratova, who hasn't stopped running. Habibuleva is central. Kudratova coming in from the right. And Karadzic as well has been very busy on the left for Nasaf. Here's a first look at Buttress. First look at what she can do. She has all the skills, Dani Buttress. Now here comes City. Through the midfield, going to ground. Maybe with a concern here is Shelby McMahon. Let's hope that's nothing more than a contact injury.
Yeah, it looks like she's just gotten clipped from behind or the side a little bit as the players run along. Oh, that's a sore one. Just loses stability with the contact there. So dangerous with knee injuries. Those sorts of movements.
And that's the immediate concern for the youngster. She did try and keep her footing, to her credit. She would have felt the contact and was desperate to keep the attack going. She's quite tall as well. It's a long way to go to the ground. Mama Karimova is trying to win the ball in from behind, and that's a nasty one. But she is back up on her feet and ready to continue. The obvious replacement there is probably that number 18, Leah Davidson, in midfield if she did need to be withdrawn, but on the pitch she remains. Davidson, a natural number 6 defensive midfielder. Here comes the delivery from McKenna. The header flicked on. An opportunity perhaps. It was McMahon herself who was making the run at the post. Couldn't quite get there. And now Nasaf looking to break quickly. Habibuleva couldn't do it all on her own. Ramirez, that is about as direct as you can go. It looked for a moment as if that might be an interesting bounce, but here's the replay of that free kick.
Yeah, a couple of deflections on the way through into dangerous areas. They're almost there, City, with these free kicks. They just need the final touch. It must be that side of the pitch, Tara, and that's where the tensions lie. As there's been a few little niggly sort of contacts throughout this game, breaking up the flow of it.
Yeah, both sides know this is knockout football. This is quarterfinal of continental competition. There must be a winner today, whether we need 90 or 120 minutes to decide that winner. And both sides are willing to fight very hard to make that happen.
Big opportunity for both sides to make the semi-finals of this competition. As we see Nasaf's high press come into play again, and City decide to go direct, which I think is the best option at this point in time when you're under that sort of pressure and can't play out from it properly.
Stott out wide. Run from Henry. She won't quite get there before Jonim Kulova, who reads it well. Neither player taking a backward step.
Yeah, run from deep here from Henry. Doesn't quite have the legs to get there, and well shadowed to the goalkeeper.
Buttress. Dani Buttress cutting inside, goes to ground, wins a dangerous free kick. That is the talent of Danella Buttress.
Yeah, she sucks in Tilavova here. Great movement, looks up, goes it directly at her, at pace. Shifts the ball, and Tilavova can't resist trying to duck in there for a tackle. Leaves her legs dragging a little bit to increase the chances of a foul being called there. She might be one of the younger members of the team, but she's got those footballing smarts clearly in that moment. And again, an opportunity from the free kick for Melbourne City.
You can understand the argument from Nasaf there in that she was probably looking for the contact, but as you say, football smarts. And now it gives Letitia McKenna an opportunity where surely she will go direct from here.
Yeah, I think some of the other free kicks we've seen are looking at where she's going to cross the ball. This one, she's got her eyes firmly set on the goalkeeper's positioning, the wall, maybe her target on the goal. So talented from the dead ball situation. Let's see what she can do on this occasion.
One arm in the air. Letitia McKenna for Melbourne City. Always rising. Maybe a little bit too close.
Yeah, she leaned back a little bit on that one, I think, and didn't quite hit it with the confidence. Yeah, just leaning back and sort of chipping at it rather than getting over the top of the ball like we probably would usually expect.
Yeah, Melbourne City out shooting Nasaf. 9 shots to 2. Only 3 of those on target. That's something they'd love to change as the half proceeds. Dangerous ball in behind, taken out of play. Delovova has had plenty of work to do. Very difficult against the speed of the likes of Briley Henry, Aideen Keane. Here's the throw, Keane in the penalty area. Well defended.
Well, it's unfortunate that Holly McNamara has come off. I like the addition so far of Keane as the 9. A little bit of speed there to sort of help Melbourne City as they're looking to play through this really well organised defence.
Here we come again, looking for the turn. A bit of physical defending. There is Holly McNamara, who's been forced to withdraw due to symptoms of concussion. City trying to keep it alive. Now Nasaf. They showed us a little bit of what they can do in possession. Seen some really nice passing moves. Hughes, though, losing out on that occasion. An opportunity in transition, perhaps. No, Rebecca Stott, so smart. She was raised in Melbourne. Stott represents New Zealand on the international stage. Has been such a stalwart for them internationally. Oh, heavy collision. That will require attention for both players here. Aideen Keane and Lelo Tilovova, the 2 players down. There was the initial collision, and then Tilovova fell awkwardly. Keane underneath it, so both players in a little bit of distress here.
Heavy contact there. There's been some big challenges going in during this game, and Keane's looking to turn, and Tilovova just comes through, gets her foot out. Maybe she's hurt her knee a little bit there, hanging it out there for the tackle. And then, unfortunately, catching Keane on the face as she falls through.
You can see her leg just get caught, and that's what's caused the subsequent fall. And it can often astound the casual viewer how well players can manage to manipulate themselves out of those sorts of situations normally, but it was just because her leg was caught that she wasn't able to avoid that heavier contact.
Yeah, sometimes it's a contact thing. Sometimes it's just getting stuck in the grass a little bit with the studs. That's just in the contact with Keane's follow-through leg coming in and hitting her after the ball's there.
Looks like a twist in the ankle as well, the right ankle. Nadine Keen's up and laughing, which is good to see because that could have been nasty. But yeah, that's the consequence of that ankle rolling to Livova. That might well be her day done.
Those ones burn. They certainly hurt at the start. She's starting to walk a little bit better. It's a tough one. Let's see whether it starts to ease for her or whether this magic spray is going to have to do a fair bit of work here. Bit of heavy lifting.
Well, they only have 5 substitutes in Nasaf, and 2 of them are listed as goalkeepers, so really only 3 to choose from. Well, Melbourne City are making a substitution in the meantime, and it is Leah Davidson coming on to replace Laura Hughes in midfield. Hughes, the Welsh international who has represented Australia before making that switch. A good day out for her, but Leah Davidson, she can make a huge difference to this Melbourne City side. It does look like, in the meantime, after all of that, we're having another look at this challenge that VAR can judge for possible red card offence.
Surely not. I think this is just, it looks worse on slow-mo than it did in real time. I'm not sure even where the red card would be going in this instance. That's just regular contact in a tackle.
And perhaps the argument can be made that the back leg there of Keen has caught Livova high.
Oh, yeah, maybe, but it's all in the, I think, action. She's lunging, so, you know, the leg's got to come down at some point. They're both lunging. It seems to me just regular contact, but there's, you know, smarter minds at work here. That's all in, you play this at real speed. You know, you're not going to, I don't think, have an issue with that tackle, but let's see what the referees think on this occasion.
And the things that you're looking for when it comes to serious foul play, you're looking for the type of contact, where it is, the speed of the contact, the control. So you're looking at how in control is the player making the tackle. Obviously, where it is, the height. One of the things that can sometimes apply is the studs. So are the studs up? Are they, you know, the studs up into the foot or the ankle or anything like that? I'm not sure exactly what applies here, but the referee is about to make her decision. And the final decision is a free kick awarded to Melbourne City. Okay.
And we move on, I guess.
So Melbourne City getting play back underway as quickly as possible. And the free kick amounts to nothing, so we'll restart from a Nasaf goal kick.
Aside from the injury issues there and the foul play potential, I thought that was good from City. They were under pressure in the high press. They managed to break through a couple of those lines of defence and found McNamara. If she got her first touch right in the turn, that's what they're looking for, because there was plenty of space to play with after that. But you can see what both sides are trying to do here. Both sides are seeing opportunities to press. Both sides are looking for opportunities to break that down and find space for themselves on the other side.
Nasaf losing their challenge with that review. Nasaf playing it out from the back in possession. City winning it back. What can they produce when Nasaf are set in defence? That's a good bit of invention from Buttress. Danny Buttress looking for options in the middle. Go to the byline, the cutback! It just needed it such. There was 3 City players in the centre of the box. They couldn't put it away.
Yeah, fantastic turn here from Buttress. Look at her go. Sucks the player in, makes the turn. Then she takes another one on 1v1. Great cross. Didn't quite find one of those 3 players. They also needed someone, I think, hitting the front post. There was a little bit of indecision as to who was going where. Great chance created there from Buttress.
Well, Buttress has certainly injected some life into this City attack. This competition seems to be where the youngster comes alive. Of course, one of 3 Melbourne City players headed to the Under-20 Women's Asian Cup. From City again, Keane trying some fancy footwork of her own, going to ground. Referee is having nothing of that. It'll be a goal kick this time.
Yeah, I think those times when City can turn and face their player. Can you go one-on-one? What's your options? Getting her feet a little bit mixed up there, unfortunately, Keane. How can you attack your player 1v1?
Long ball up high for Nasaf, who do look like they're readying their first substitution of the game. McNamara being a concussion substitute means that theoretically Nasaf have an extra substitute window, but they've only got 3 outfielders ready to go. So in this case, it doesn't affect them too much. McMahon playing it all the way back to Rebecca Stott. Stott playing it along the ground. Nice turn. Looking for space there. On the edge of the area, can't find it. Now Nasaf in behind. Through their captain, Kudratova. Draws a yellow card challenge out of Danielle Turner.
Yeah, they do so well, Nasaf, when they get their players 1v1 against some of these Melbourne City defenders. And here, she works hard. She gets her body in front of Danielle Turner, draws the foul and the yellow card as a result.
So the first substitution of this afternoon for Nasaf, it is Melbourne Dieva, who makes her way onto the park, the 18-year-old. She played a part in 2 of their group stage games. She replaces Ilvina Kimova. A little bit of youth injected into this Nasaf side. Here's the free kick. Headed away by Stott. Still looking to find a way forward. Mirez can come out and claim. And, well, her first involvement in the game, Igamba Dieva, is a yellow card almost instantaneously.
Getting straight up to the speed of play, clearly. A little bit of a professional foul there, trying to slow her down from playing quickly.
A little bit of over-enthusiasticness from a young teenager. Over-enthusiasm, I should say.
As we see City break again, they've broken down that first press. Now what can they do?
McKenna driving forward still. There's good work in defence again. One player marshalling, one player winning the ball back. Stott over the top. McKenna again. McKenna turning, trying to find a way through. Can't find it that angle. And play will be stopped because Niloufar Kudratova is down and requiring medical attention. On one hand, you'd imagine Nasaf will be quite pleased if they can get it to extra time, but on the other hand, with only 3 outfielders on the bench, home conditions for Melbourne City, albeit the majority of these Nasaf players have been here for a while. It's just a replay of the incident there, a little bit of contact of the ball to the face of Kudratova. And while most of these Nasaf players have been here a while, it's still home conditions for Melbourne City. They're towards the latter stages of their league season. If it goes to 120 minutes, you would say advantage City.
Yeah, you'd expect so. The fuller bench, you know, they're used to playing here, or not particularly this ground, but Stott just an errant arm, catches Kudratova. And this is one of those tactics that we saw from teams in the Women's Asian Cup. Sometimes when you're under pressure, when we're playing against a team that likes to play with flow and with rhythm, disrupt that rhythm. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of time spent on the ground.
Here comes City. McKenna's ball across the face, picked up by Henry. Buttress, Danny Buttress, she was shaping to shoot, couldn't keep her feet, and now Nasaf in transition. Ball taken away from the youngster. The shot from distance flashes across the face of goal. Another opportunity goes begging for City.
Yeah, really well-timed tackle here from McMahon. And then she thinks, maybe I've got a side at goal here. Doesn't quite make the connection that she's probably hoping for, but you can see she looks up to see where the goalkeeper's positioned.
She can score the spectacular in this competition. No doubt she's thinking back to the semi-final, to the final. Of course, that semi-final winner in stoppage time. A stunning strike from McMahon, who this season is 17. A year ago, 16. Bang, top bins.
Just keeps getting better, doesn't she? And Melbourne City is sort of looking now for their difference maker. The usual one, Holly McNamara, had been forced off with a concussion issue. They need someone like that.
Nasaf looking to press high here. Kudratova putting on the pressure. Mirez forced to just clear it away. Buttress has some work to do if City are to maintain possession. She does well. Oh, great footwork again from Buttress, and wins a foul. Hikmatova very much struggling to deal with the youngster.
Here's what I was talking about. Buttress, she's looking to be that difference maker. I actually think Hikmatova did a good job there defensively. I thought that was a little bit of a interesting free kick call, but Buttress she's working hard to find opportunities here. And here we see Amarova down for a little bit. She'll soldier on. Another moment to disrupt play there by Nasaf.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the referee, Yamashita Yoshimi, waving away the medical staff. Those referees, the crew from Japan, they are well acquainted with making sure that play continues out in the middle. Here's City. Looking the ball through was McMahon, but not able to find the target. Just giving the ball away in midfield. Kudratova looking to play it through. Frustration there for Habiba Lever, who thought for a moment like she would get on the end of that ball from her captain. Couldn't quite do so. And again, some more heavy contact, but City will just look to maintain possession. Let Henry get to her feet and try to play the ball to her. Doesn't reach her. but it will come through the midfield. Davidson, heavy touch.
Davidson probably just needs to check her shoulder there as the ball's coming to her, see where the defender is and where you need to take your first touch.
Well, that feeling as a player, when you've been substituted off, you can do absolutely nothing to impact the result. That is what Holly McNamara is feeling. She was withdrawn early in the second half after scoring Melbourne City's goal in the first, but unfortunately symptoms of concussion cut her game short. Matilda. He's broken well here for Keane. 18 Keane going directly to goal. Still 18 Keane! Off the crossbar. Can Buttress finish? Not quite able to apply the final touch that she needed. Well, the determination and verve of 18 Keane created the opportunity, and she was inches away from regaining the lead for the home side.
So dangerous since she's moved to centre forward. The speed, they just can't handle it, and she's so close to getting that second goal for City. Off the crossbar, and Buttress almost there for the follow-up as well.
This first one here, she just couldn't quite get her head around it, and it was actually not dissimilar to the way that Holly McNamara scored the goal, except of course the first time she took the first shot herself and then was able to control the header to get it in. Buttress not able to do the same with the ball rebounding.
This Nasaf back line really struggling with pace. Buttress's change of pace has been good. Keane's change of pace there.
Well, one in midfield from McMahon. Thought about shooting, instead playing it forward to Keane, who can only go to ground, although this is good work from Rossbacken, who went for the spectacular. Keane. Can McKenna get there? Not quite. Kudratova wins the ball. As much as it's been City who have built into this game, could it be Nasaf in transition, or could it be City in transition? They've looked the most dangerous in those moments, as you say, because of the pace in behind. They are making another substitution here, Melbourne City, and it's Janaza Uchendu who will be introduced. Briley Henry making way. Janaza Uchendu will be determined to make amends after her previous league game ended with a red card. Of course, not suspended for continental competition, which is what this game is, which means she can take part. Uchendu, a Nigerian international, she scored 3 goals in the league this season, hasn't managed to do so on the continental stage. Good first introduction, the shot from Danielle Cerner, who was in unfamiliar surrounds. The left back couldn't find the target, but a good introduction for Uchendu.
Yeah, good first touch from Uchendu, getting the turn on. Maybe that's what she'll be used as, the post player for City. And we're seeing a little bit of impatience starting to creep into the City game. A few long distance shots here as well. You just need to be patient. There's still 8 whole minutes left on the clock.
Of course, this is a quarter-final. The game must be determined today, so if it cannot be decided in 90, we will go to 120 minutes. If it cannot be decided in 120 minutes, we will go to penalties.
Nice idea there by City. Rossbacken getting up and down, overlapping on that side. And that's proven successful for them at times. City, that movement, winger coming in, fullback going around. Couldn't get the pass right on that one. As we've seen Nasaf take their time for the throw-in.
Uchendu, great work to keep it alive down this right-hand side. Here's the cross in the middle. McKenna was waiting. Uchendu is there. Buttress! Great save. Jonam Kulova is there to deny the youngster.
Gee, she's been good since coming on, but that save by John Clover even better. She makes great connection on the volley. And she's just proven herself to be a fantastic shot stopper. And she keeps the goal out on that occasion.
Uchendu has had a very positive impact in the minutes since coming on. And perhaps with thoughts of putting it all on the line in continental competition for her side. Not able to gain that ball though. So Nasaf in transition. Ludmila Karadzic not able to beat Ross back in. Really well done by the right back. Now Davidson to Uchendu. Ross back in, not able to come back and claim.
Seeing a little bit more urgency in the Melbourne City play now. You can see they're starting to feel that time pressure. They want to finish this game off. They just need to concentrate, still find that quality.
And teams can very often begin to panic in these situations, and Nasaf, well, they'll earn themselves a free kick because 18 Keane there has fouled Amirova, the 26-year-old. Amirova picked up a yellow card early of her own. Now playing the part of trying to draw the foul.
Yeah, she's done the old drag the foot trick that we saw earlier from Buttress. And it's worked here for her as well. Again, disrupt, slow the pace of play down. See what you can create off the back of it. It just lulls the opposition into a false sense of security as well, you know. Any more opportunity that you can try and slow them down, get them thinking about other things is an opportunity for you.
Long range free kick, looking to test Mirez. Maybe not the original intention from Shoyimova, but it was floating, and just for a moment, we've caught Mirez out, but she was alert to the danger. Another wonderful piece of skill from Danny Buttress. He was helping on its way. It hasn't amounted to anything immediately, but City keep possession. Stosh thinks about the big switch of play. Instead plays it down the middle. Uchendu. Stott receives it back. You could see where she was going with the pass on that right-hand side. Just didn't quite find its target. And now Nasaf, perhaps space to work with Stott up the pitch. The industry of McKenna slows it down with Rantavar, and then McKenna intercepts. Oh, Karadzic, that was an unsubtle handball. Referee plays advantage. Ball's gone out of play and will go back for that handball.
Could see the pass going past there and couldn't resist the temptation to stop it with the hand. You see the game's opening up for both sides a little bit. City just need to make sure they get the balance right. And here you see a little cheeky goalkeeper imitation there to stop that pass.
Some outfielders fancy themselves as goalkeepers if required. I wonder if Amelia Karadzic is one of them. Probably not quite got the height for it.
No, I think her skills lie in other areas.
She'll be hoping, scoring a decisive goal, but it's City on the attack. McKenna looking for space. Uchendu. Well, City thought that they'd won themselves a corner. In fact, it will be an Nasaf goal kick.
McKenna not quite getting the way to the pass there, right through to Uchendu. She had the right idea. Player on the move, but not quite getting it to her. Uchendu's looked good since coming on.
And she's made a real difference, added a whole new dynamic to City's attack. And City Just trying to muscle their way through. Aiden Keane is limping after that challenge. Is still involved in play though, has managed to keep possession well. Watching at that knee. Just a bit of contact to Corky perhaps. McKenna. Lovely work from Letitia McKenna. Maintains her footing. Keane still out there, still limping, manages to keep it alive. The ball in the middle. Woodruss at the back post. It'll fall for Chinaza Uchendu! In the 90th minute, Melbourne City, in front of their home fans, retake the lead. And it's Chinaza Uchendu off the bench with the finish.
What a brilliant finish there. Ball comes in from Ross Backen. Not cleared properly. One touch. Finish on the volley. I thought she could have taken it first time. She thinks, nope, got to get it on my left foot. Wham. Goalkeeper doesn't even move for that one. And she's been looking for a way to repay her side after the red card in the league during the week. And she certainly does that now. They just need to keep their heads.
The 28-year-old, after the week that she's had, it's a special moment for her. There's Matilda's head coach, Joe Montemuro, looking on. Enjoying what he's seeing, no doubt. Perhaps watching the likes of young talents like Danella Buttress. Just checking this goal. And it's one of those, not sure entirely what they might be checking. Buttress looks onside. Uchendu, doesn't look like there's any kind of touch to the hands. And the goal is confirmed. So Melbourne City have stoppage time to hold on here in the AFC Women's Champions League quarterfinals. 7 minutes of stoppage time for Nasaf to get back on level terms.
And now it's Melbourne City's turn to control the tempo of this match. Danielle Turner had a little bit of a whoopsie there trying to pick up the ball. Slow things down a little bit. Manage this game through to the last 7 minutes of stoppage time.
Nasaf will throw everything at this. This is sudden death football. But it's City, perhaps, who will find space in behind due to Nasaf needing to chase this late equalizer.
Yeah, I think we'll see a change in the dynamic of this game now. Nasaf have to chase it. They can't just sit back and defend and look for their chances on the counter-attack or from the high press. They have to go after the game, and it looks like a couple of substitutions being prepared here accordingly.
So Shodia Tosheva, the player coming on. She replaces the experience of Ludmila Karadzic. And then also for Melbourne City, Aideen Keane making her way off the pitch. She's being replaced by Devon Jackson, the Kiwi international who scored a brace in this competition in the group stage against Stallion Laguna. And Keane tried to make her way off on the sideline that was furthest away from her, and the referee said, absolutely not, you must leave the field of play at the closest point. So Devon Jackson entrusted by Michael Matriciani and Melbourne City to see the game out. And Team Uchendu, well, they are very, very happy because Uchendu, of course, the player who has scored the goal to give City the lead once again for the second time in this game.
Now let's see how quickly Nasaf can get the ball up the other end of the field, making a difference. Try find this equalizer.
Uchendu She has been on a mission since coming on, and you just feel like it is instant redemption for her. You can see the way her teammates got around her after scoring that goal. Of course, if her suspension holds from the red card in the previous league game, she'll take no further part in the league season and can play a big part in the Champions League.
See Danielle Turner there saying, head to the corner. Don't try anything special. Very experienced player in England and elsewhere, knows how to manage a game. Trying to lead this team through to the end.
Buttress thought about going to the corner. And in her exuberance, thought she could go one better. And result a goal kick though for Nasaf, so they regain possession. Nasaf will have to build, but it's City who have won the throw.
Yeah, Buttress not happy with that call, and probably rightfully so. They win the ball back for a throw-in on the other side not long after anyway. They got the ball where they want it, in their hands.
Uchendu seeing it out for a corner. That's the smart thing to do at this stage of the game.
Really smart call, and she's doing a great job. When she came on, her aim was to score goals. Now she understands the task at hand. Be the post player, win the ball in the corners, play for the smart options, and I think we're going to see something similar here. Yep.
This is what teams will often do in the latter stages of games like this. And try and keep it to the corner. They've made a little bit of a meal of that though. And Nasaf will win the ball back. Carly Ross back in. And Milifa Kudratova having a disagreement. Devin Jackson coming over to just push Ross back and away. It has been that kind of game. Neither side taking a backward step. The referee managing it.
Ross Backen might have an argument here, but she needs to get back into position. Don't get caught up in that. Focus on your job.
Can City maintain possession for as long as remains in this game? It's 7 minutes of stoppage time on the board, but the referee may add some extra time given the stoppages in stoppage time. And Melbourne City are at the behest of the referee. Can they hold on? Nasaf have to find a way forward, have to find one last attack if they are to keep themselves alive in this competition. But it's City who have the ball again. Buttress up the line. McKenna involved. Buttress, Uchendu. The foul goes the way of Nasaf. That can only be a small amount of time remaining.
Here they go. We're going to go a little bit more direct now. They've got no time to waste.
Chuyimova launching it long, looking for that 50-50 ball. But it's City who come away with it. They'll run for the hills. It's Devin Jackson in possession. Looks straight for the corner. Davidson just keeping it alive, keeping the ball in play. Not able to do so there. We're past 8 minutes of stoppage time. Referee looking at her watch. Full time in the AFC Women's Champions League quarter-final. It is Melbourne City who will advance to the semi-final stage. stage once again. They are looking for redemption for defeat in the final last campaign. They were given an awfully tough task today against PFC Nasaf, Uzbekistan side throwing absolutely everything at them. But in the end, a late goal for Chinaza Uchendu helped the home side prevail. Full time, it is Melbourne City 2, PFC Nasaf 1. So Melbourne City, they had more possession, more chances, and in the end, they made it count.
Yeah, they certainly did. They were tested today, they were pushed all the way, and I think at the end, the substitutes for Melbourne City made absolutely all the difference. Buttress coming on, Uchendu coming on, Davidson coming on. You know, the rest of the team had sort of worn them down eventually, and then you add a fresh pair of legs on there, and they created more problems for this PFC Nasaf team. Wouldn't say the most pretty of performances, but that's what knockout football is all about. You've got to get away to get the result.
And these are the stories that football gives us. Instant redemption for Chinaza Uchendu. Danny Buttress being congratulated by her teammates as well. The youngsters, so inventive, so talented. So much of her play ends up on highlights reels on the internet because she's just so exciting to watch.
Yeah, she is. I love the attitude that she brings to her work, you know, wanting to go one-on-one, a little bit of flair, a little bit of spark. It really makes a difference when the defence has to come up against that.
So Melbourne City triumphant. It ends here. Melbourne City 2, PFC Nasaf 1.